Howdy guys, HunterRocket83 here, bringing you a new Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War video. Well, the alpha's finished, so I thought I'd just give my little bits of feedback and criticisms for the game. So, first things off, is this game better than Black Ops 4? Definitely. Definitely much better than Black Ops 4. I know it's only an alpha, so I should probably disclaim that as well, so some things are most likely going to change. But yeah, as I said before, this game is way better than Black Ops 4. And at first I was saying that I really didn't like the game at all, but when I started getting used to how the game works, how the game plays, I was starting to enjoy myself and all that stuff. The first thing to point out is that you have 150 health instead of the original 100. There's no like double time sprinting from Modern Warfare, so that's completely gone, which I'm gonna be honest, I'm not a fan of that being gone. There's no mounting as well, so you can't mount on pieces of cover like you can in Modern Warfare. That's a bit of a disappointment, that's gone as well. And you can't open or close doors. There are no doors in Black Ops Cold War, at least of yet. But anyways, some of my criticisms to give... well, let's just go over the maps that were in the alpha. So there were two mosh pits in the game. There was the core mosh pit and the combined arms domination mosh pit. So the core mosh pit was your normal standard 6v6, and there were three maps in the game. There was Miami, Moscow, and what was the last one? Satellite. Miami is set in Miami, and I'd say it's a mid-sized map. The one criticism I had with some of Black Ops 4 maps was that they were a bit too big for 5v5 or 6v6. This one is in the middle. I don't mind it much. I mean, I don't see many enemies when I'm playing, but it is not a bad map. It's actually just pretty okay. Now, the other two maps, Moscow, that one's more like, I'd say that's more smaller size, small mid-size map. And I, to be honest, was getting tired of playing it constantly in the alpha. No matter how many times I choose a core mosh pit, it'll be like, quick join to Moscow. But, it's a good map. It's pretty fun playing, especially hardpoint and domination on that map, and yeah, that's what I have to say for that one. Next was Satellite, which is a medium to long range map, I'd say. Well, actually, one side is like medium to close range, and then one other side is like long range and medium range. My voice just cracked there. But anyways, so on the far side, outside of the map, there is the sand dunes, which is perfect for sniping if you're into that kind of stuff. If you like using sniper rifles, that's your heaven, or your haven. And on the other side of it is more close-paced combat, so if you're into using guns like shotguns, SMGs, and that kind of stuff, that's your spot. And there is a crash satellite in the middle of the map. It's not a bad place for cover, it's actually pretty good for cover. And it's a good capture point for domination, so I do give a thumbs up on that one. The other thing to point out is that all of these maps, except for Moscow, had a intro to the map, so like little cutscenes that introduce you to the map and all that kind of stuff. The maps had those, but except for Moscow, I guess they didn't program them in yet. Now, the other thing too, Combined Arms. There were two maps in Combined Arms, Domination and Crossroads. Now, Combined Arms is similar to Ground War. You have about 5 flag objectives to capture in Domination instead of 3. And instead of it, the thing that is kind of a bit annoying is that it's not 64 players anymore, it's now 24, so it's 12v12 on the map. The first map to point out was Armada. This map really gained my interest because it's set between like 3 boats. There's a submarine in the sea flag is a submarine, and the one thing that I was amused by is the grappling hook, not the grappling hook, the zip lines to be able to use between each boat. And there are also vehicles in Combined Arms. So on the map Armada, there were some boats to take, and there was also jet skis. The boats had guns on them, so people would unfortunately camp in those boats and pick you off if you were ziplining. And this map is also still a pretty good one for sniping, though I gotta admit there is some pretty annoying spots where you can be sniped from, like from the A flag, or just like near the A flag. That's a pretty annoying spot. You could, mostly have sniper battles between Delta and Alpha, which is, a bit of an irritation. And the next Combined Arms map was Crossroads. This one, I'm not sure what it's like, but there's like a huge area covered with ice that you can go across. There's a crashed train on the top side of the map that you can use for cover, and again, this map's pretty good for sniping if you want to do that kind of stuff. The open areas of the ice and the crashed train, that's a good place for sniping. And there were a few vehicles again in this as well. You had snowmobiles, which you can drive around. You could have someone on the back with you. I think you could have that with the jet ski too, but I didn't really use the boat or a jet ski in Armada. But yeah, you have the jet skis, and then the tanks. Certain certain objective points, there's no flags for some reason, have tanks, and gonna be honest, I don't think they really suit Call of Duty. Like, you know, Call of Duty is more faster paced than Battlefield. I know, like, that Activision and all that are trying their hardest to kill the Battlefield franchise, and this is probably the best chance for them to do that, since the last release of like Battlefield was Battlefield 5, and that was a disaster. But yeah, those maps, pretty good. Now, the next thing, the weapons. So you had 3 assault rifles, I believe. 3 assault rifles, 3 SMGs, 2 snipers, 2 LMGs, and 2 pistols, and 2 shotguns, 1 launcher. I believe that was in there. So I mostly myself. There was also tactical rifles. There was 2 tactical rifles. I almost forgot that, which is basically marksman rifles from Modern Warfare. So, anyways, I didn't really use semi-automatic weapons that much, unless it was a sniper, but if it was going to be a sniper, I always use bolt-action snipers. I hate semi-auto snipers. And, anyways, so, the one gun I mostly stick to was the XM4, which is basically the M4 of this game, but I believe the actual name for the gun in the original Black Ops was the Commando, because the gun design looks very similar to the Commando from Black Ops 1. And that gun is not bad. It's pretty good at range and all that kind of stuff. And the other things is that there are a few broken guns. The M1911, that pistol for some reason is pretty broken right now. It can be killed in like 2 to 3 shots with it. And that was kind of ridiculous. And the elephant in the room with all these overpowered guns, the AK-74U. The streamers that got an early chance to play the game, they criticised, saying that the AK-74U was the most powerful gun in the game. It was pretty broken, and you know, of course, they would hog straight onto that and use that themselves. Well, I can definitely say firsthand that the AK-74U is a bit broken, and Treyarch need to definitely nerf it, because I could be killed from long range by that gun. For some reason, it barely has any recoil. But, the other 2 things to point out. The sniper rifles, for some reason, they're being nerfed. I don't know why. But you have 2 snipers, the LW3 and the Pellington. And the Pellington is basically the M40 from Modern Warfare 1, the original, not the reboot. And the LW3 is basically an AWP. So one thing to criticize about this is that the description says, one hit kill to the upper chest or the head, and I use the Pellington for that because that's the one that has that. But for some reason, even if I shot the upper chest, it would still get me a hit marker, which is a huge irritation when you're using a sniper. You want to kill someone like very quickly. So yeah, the gunsmith returns in Black Ops Cold War. I don't know if it's gonna be as in-depth as the one in Modern Warfare, but so far it's been pretty good, and you can see the percentage of how these attachments are pros and cons to your weapon, which is good. That's a pretty good thing. What's the other thing to point out? Ah, yes, at first when I was creating a class, or like when I was in a game, I thought you cannot change a class mid-game or customize it mid-game. I was wrong. My friend Gary pointed out that if you just press triangle while you're paused, you can just go into the gunsmith while you're in the game, so that's cool. Now, another thing to say, the graphics, they're not as good as Modern Warfare 2019. For some reason, Treyarch decided to go back to using the same engine that they used for Black Ops 3 and 4, which is, okay, that's fine. I gotta admit, some of the animations are fine. they look like they come straight from Modern Warfare. Like, the sprinting animation looks like it comes from the new Modern Warfare, and that's okay with me. But the gun sounds a huge step down to Modern Warfare 2019. I mean, I guess they're not going with a realistic approach with Cold War, but, I mean, they're setting the game in the Cold War, so of course they'll have to go with a realistic approach. And the other thing I had to point out, it's something I do now in Call of Duty, is like, can I see my character's legs when I look down? And when I look down, look, there's my character's legs. Woo, that's cool. Anyways, what else would there be? I don't like the score streak system. I have no idea how it works. I don't know if it's like, if you earn your first score streak, if you die, then your progress goes towards the second score streak and the third score streak. I don't know how it works, but I gotta be honest, the score for these score streaks are too bloody high. For example, the spy plane, which is the UAV in Cold War. Usually in these games, a spy plane or a UAV in the Black Ops games was 500 points. Or it was like 4 or 3 kills in like Modern Warfare. It is 800 points in Black Ops Cold War. Now, the other thing to point out is that there's a cooldown on score streaks as well, so people don't spam them constantly. And it's like, well, that's okay, that's fine, I guess. But the thing that I hate about it is that, yeah, again, the score is too high for your score streaks, and that gives people an incentive to camp for those score streaks. And I'll be honest, I don't like campers. I don't think anyone does. So I think they need to change the scoring system for that. I think, if they want to, make the spy plane 500 points again, okay? I think that would be fine. I mean, granted, I don't really like the score streak systems in any Call of Duty. I prefer kill streaks over score streaks. I actually hope that there's a perk in Cold War that makes it so you can have a kill streak instead of score streak, like Modern Warfare does with the Point Man perk, having score streak instead of kill streaks. That was a pretty good perk, so hope they put that in. What else is there? There was the operator abilities, or like not class abilities, field upgrades. You got the field mic, the jammer, the proximity mine, and the SAM turret. I didn't use much of them. I only used the proximity mine like once because I was sniping, but I never really used it again. I mostly used the SAM turret, and it mostly shot down spy planes, but I think it needs to be able to shoot down other score streaks as well. Like, certain times an attack chopper comes in, I'd think, okay, the SAM turret should do some work on that. Nope. Let alone the fact the amount of damage it takes before it destroys is way too quick. It gets killed in like 2 to 3 shots, which is pretty ridiculous. What else would there be? Yes. There were a few bugs to address. Sometimes when you join mid-match game, it would load in. It would show you like the loading screen animations, like going on, like, look, this is the map here. But you could also see like someone's like perspective through like spectator. Well, that's sort of like over. What was it? I don't know how to pronounce it. Like, they're like on top of one another, so like the loading screen's on the bottom, and then there's the player you're spectating, well, that you're supposed to be spectating, perspective is like over the top of that. And the other thing too is that I don't know anyone that likes motion blur in any game in particular. I don't like motion blur. And every time I can, I will turn that crap off. It makes me feel sick when I play games. So, there is an option to turn off motion blur in the alpha, which is good. That's really good to see. But every single time you finish a match, it would re-enable itself. So you'd have to join the match, then you go into the settings, and then disable it before you could start running around and killing your targets. Which is, that's whatever. But I'm pretty sure they'll fix that before the beta comes out. The other issue I had was, what was it? So one match I played, for some reason I logged in, I'm like, okay, this is pretty fun and all that stuff, but for some reason I could not look up or down. So I have no idea why that was happening. I paused the game for a sec, checked my settings. For some reason, I have my sensitivity set to 14, insane, because I'm starting to get used to that, and I also have my AEDS sensitivity set to 1.8. But for some reason, it set my vertical sensitivity to 1. So, looking up and down was like the slowest thing ever. I'm like, wait, I am actually looking up and down, but like the thing, yeah, it was weird. But that only happened once when I played, so not a huge worry. The other things I had to point out is I think the explosive radius for the grenades are too small. Like, I could throw a grenade into a single room where there's an enemy there, but for some reason, like, he's like just a teeny bit in front of it, and it does no damage, let alone kill the person. So I think they need to change that. And the last thing I need to point out is you need to bring back the corpse launchers in Modern Warfare from Modern Warfare. Like Black Ops Cold War, like the way your characters die, it's kind of just boring. And like Modern Warfare changed that with the corpse launchers you get, and they're just fantastic. I find them absolutely hilarious.
I've got the war machine, but I couldn't use it.
So yeah, I'm hoping they can bring that back. I don't know if they can with the engine they're using, but yeah, that's the other thing to address about. And I've also started to use a new control scheme. I've been using tactical instead of the default, so that just changes that just changes your sliding, your crouching, and your melee buttons flip. So instead of your you sliding with the circle button, you'll be sliding with the melee button instead. And instead of meleeing with R3, you'll be pressing circle to melee instead. So I'm starting to get used to that. I've actually reassigned the controls on Modern Warfare now after playing the Cold War Alpha.
I'll upload that probably.
And yeah, there was also a few connectivity issues when it came to joining lobbies and parties. They
My YouTube's being weird at the moment.
they were a bit finicky, and I hope they can fix that soon. I do gotta give a round of applause to Treyarch for once. The best play camera at the end of the game did not glitch out like it does in Black Ops 4 when like you're watching someone and then out of nowhere the screen just blanks out and you just see your perspective of the map. It's like, oh, that's great. So I can't see that play. So thank goodness that glitch didn't happen at all when I was playing the Cold War beta. So it's good that's been addressed. And I think that's pretty much it. I think that's all I've got for Black Ops Cold War. So yeah, thank you guys for watching this video. Leave a like on the video. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell to be notified when I release a new video. And I'll see you guys in the next video, whatever that is.
Oh, it's really
Okay, so I forgot to mention this in the previous recording, but I need to mention it now. Treyarch, you need to fix the loading times for the multiplayer maps. Do it like Modern Warfare. Have it load while you're in the lobby, and then make it load just like that, okay? Because the load times are pretty horrendous right now, but I know it's in alpha right now. But still, I just hope that we don't have another Black Ops 4 where it takes like 2 minutes to finally load into a match. So Treyarch, I hope you can, well, you probably won't listen to this, but I hope that you can see the feedback and please improve the loading times. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in another video.